Hello, Mark. Why are you
Hello.
hiding in this way on this Zoom? I can't understand it. Is it because you're having the tables turned upon you in a really uncomfortable way?
Yes. This is hilarious because as you know, in our arts and culture network, I interview several people most days to publish it and promote it. And I've got a rather unusual interview technique. And now the tables are being turned. I'm sort of apprehensive and excited in equal measure.
Good. So, just for everyone watching, what's happening in here is that last week, Mark very kindly interviewed me for the Arts and Culture Network. And I've known Mark since the real inception of ATN. And I thought to myself, he does so much for so many other people. It's about time that we interviewed him and worked out what he would say to these questions. And so I thought very long and hard about this as a possibility, and have written a new script. Basically, this could go just horrendously wrong. But yeah, I'm basically doing your job today, and you're doing the job of being the person in the network.
Okay. I'm excited.
Now, are you ready?
I'm ready,
Are
as I'll
you?
ever be. Yes.
So, as you know, I have an obsession with the period of time known as 10 years. So, I thought that what we might do, Mark, is ask ourselves where we find ourselves on Friday, the 17th of October, because today is Thursday, the 17th of October, but Friday, the 17th of October, 2034.
Oh my Lord, that's a lovely thought.
So, you
Yes.
wake up in the morning and you open your eyes and you reach for your journal and you start to write in a stream of consciousness how much has changed in the last 10 years. I remember on the 17th of October 2024, this woman, Tricia Duffy, interviewing me, you say. Both for you personally, for you professionally, but also in terms of technology that you're now using. And so I'd love you to tell me what are you writing in your journal this morning in 2034, Mark?
Oh, heavens. Um, I'll probably remind myself that I've declined the honor offered to me by the king. Um,
Love it.
I'll be probably making breakfast. Am I writing this at the beginning of the day or the end of the
Yeah,
day?
first thing in the morning. It's a practice called morning pages. You've
Right.
adopted it in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I have, yes. I'll probably be planning to make breakfast for one of my eight grandchildren.
Right.
Um, I've got two at the moment. Heavens, I'll be looking back and thinking, yes, what year? We're 34, 2034 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be patting myself metaphorically on the back for having achieved what I wanted to do by the end of the last decade professionally, and that was to create an arts and culture global support foundation that gives money away without an application form. So that's that. I'd like to sit, I think I'll probably have an interview with somebody in Uganda who has managed to start a street dance group based on some of the money that one of our members suggested we sent. So that would be nice. Professionally, I'll flip open the last weekend's copy of the Sunday Times to read the review of my latest novel. And I'll and crikey, I'll check in with the principal of the music school that I created for disadvantaged children. Um, I'll check in with some of the people who I've in the last 10 years decided to manage to see how they're doing. I'll probably have a half an hour check-in with perhaps 4 or 5 people who have asked me to manage them. Um, I'll be looking at the millions and squillions of people who've been checking out our LinkedIn group, which now has 4 million people in it. Wow. What else will I be
Well, I
writing
might
in
have
my
to stop
journal?
you because you've actually got, although it is a day for reflection, you've also got a flight to catch.
Ah,
Because a philanthropist who loves to invest in cultural collection, let's call her Tricia Duffy, has noticed everything that you have done for others during the last 10 years, and she wants to invest in you further so that you can step back from the world for just a moment, for a year, to force you into a fertile void to see what other ideas you might be able to incubate as a result. So Tricia, as we'll call her, wants to send you somewhere completely and utterly inspiring. So where are you going to be flying to later on this day after writing your reflections for your year of stepping back, really? So you'll be giving up your management for a whole year. Someone else is taking care of that for you. It's really a chance to incubate new things. So whereabouts are you going to be flying to, Mark?
wow. The first place that comes to mind is Soper's Hole in the British Virgin Islands.
Nice, that sounds,
Um,
isn't it?
it's lovely there, and I did a sailing holiday there with some friends, um, and we were out there for their wedding, and they joined us. We shared the boat between us, and we sailed ourselves. I was the skipper, and we did all the way around the British Virgin Islands and docked at Necker. We weren't allowed to get off, but we were allowed to dock. And there's a bar in Soper's Hole which has a kind of terrace on the first floor overlooking a beautiful harbour in the Caribbean there, with boats coming in and out, with people on holiday moving their hotels around for them. And I think that's probably my kind of Ernest Hemingway thinking spot, if
Nice.
that makes sense.
It does.
Um, um, I want to write a book about writing a book that becomes the book.
Okay, well, you could potentially do that during this year, but you also have to spend some time purposefully not planning or not doing anything and really leaning into allowing things to emerge. So you're going to arrive in Soper's Hole, and there's an apartment there. There's obviously plenty of bedrooms there because you need to have your grandchildren come and visit you, and we know there's 8 of them by now, so that's quite a large number of kids to come during the school holidays. So we need to make sure that you're accommodated for that. And you arrive, it's a Friday, so you're arriving on a Friday evening, and you drop your bags and you walk down to the local bar that you mentioned there. And I'd love to know what you're ordering from the bar, what you're having to drink and what you're having to eat.
The drink is easy because I love rum.
You
Someone
do,
told me once, if you
because you're a
drink,
pirate.
because I'm a pirate. But if you drink gin at 9 a.m. in the morning, you're an alcoholic. If you drink rum, you're a pirate.
Okay, good.
So it would be a rum and Diet Coke, or possibly even a dirty mojito,
Nice.
which
Have you ever
is
had dark and stormy?
love those as well. But a
Yeah,
dirty mojito is a mojito but with golden or black rum instead of white
nice.
rum. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
dirty mojito. Uh,
Yeah, eat.
eat. You know, I'm going to do the first thing that comes to mind through this because it's probably the honest one, isn't it?
Uh,
Twiglets. Uh,
Twiglet.
yeah, I can
Twiglets, the
almost
British version
feel.
of it.
I can almost feel and taste the combination of Marmite and rum while you're sitting there, and it's really, really lovely. Um,
Sort of sticky tap.
yeah,
And
that
it's a
kind
bit
of
hot, isn't it? So they're going to be a
yeah,
little bit melty
yeah.
and
Or my
crispy.
mother's, my mother's. My mother could burn water, bless her, but she made the most amazing lemon meringue pie. So I should have a bit of her lemon meringue pie. I really do love lamb. So I'd have a little sort of lamb skewer dish,
No.
with twiglets on the side, and some lemon meringue pie, or possibly some apple crumble.
I
So
think given that you're in the British Virgin Islands, you might end up with a key lime pie, but it's almost the same, isn't it?
yeah, that would be very nice as well. And I should probably have fish. I do love fish.
Do you?
Oh, yes. Bit of a monkfish steak or a tuna steak would be nice.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Well, this philanthropist, let's call her Tricia, has arranged for you to be joined at this dinner just to give you a warm welcome to the island and to this year by 3 people you admire. So it's 3 people, not just 1 or 2. And you can choose anybody. They can be dead or alive. They can be someone that you know and in your family, or it can be somebody that you admire. So I'd love to know who's going to be there to set you up on this journey, to embrace what emerges and the fertile void, and potentially writing the book on this very first night that you're in the British Virgin Islands.
Wow. Wow. I think the first one would have to be my father, because he died in 85 when I was 23. And I've often wondered how I would try and explain the things that have happened in the last 20 years to him. He was pre-mobile phone, pre-electric guitars, electric cars. That's having the influence.
Yeah.
Pre-internet, he would love all of that. I owe him a huge debt of thanks, because I didn't have computers in schools when I didn't have a computer. The only thing remotely resembling a computer was the electric typewriter, the Olivetti in the secretary's office. And then they had a word processor, but he bought me an Amstrad when in the early days, and I taught myself computer programming on that. And everyone thought I was mad, but it put me 10 years ahead of everyone else in my generation, really. So that I'd love him to be there. I'm torn. I've got quite a few. If it was for witty banter,
Yeah.
okay, it would be Peter Ustinov and Stephen Fry.
Okay.
For for giggles and kicks, it would probably be Dawn French, who is my guilty secret. I adore Dawn French. And probably Russ Abbott and Abbott and Costello. Right. I'd like them on there as well. And if they are not available, I'll have Laurel and Hardy. But I'm thinking actually, given the location, I think I'd love Bob Marley to be there.
Nice.
And Gustav Mahler.
Okay, well, you've really exceeded the limit of 3, but as you're so special, the philanthropist is willing to turn a blind eye, and they can all come. So it's going to be a very jolly evening. I don't know whether everyone's going to exactly see eye to eye around that table, but
no, but that's quite a dinner party.
It is.
What do we have? Peter Ustinov, Stephen Fry, Gustav Mahler. Stephen Fry and Gustav Mahler would get on famously. Bob Marley, Dawn French, Laurel and Hardy, and Abbott and Costello.
I think you might need to pick one more woman, because I feel like Dawn's going to be a little bit outnumbered gender-wise there. So maybe
okay, Linda Evangelista.
Okay, very good. I digress now from memory. Have you ever played the single name dinner party game? This is a game, I believe, of my own invention, but sometimes people come up with the same game.
Okay.
What you do is you have to put together a dinner party, but everybody has to have the same name. So, for example, you can have Stevie Nicks and Stephen Fry. That's permitted.
Nice.
You can have, Paul Merton and Paul McCartney and Paul Whitehouse. And it's a great driving game, because you can just all throw out a name. It's easier to do with men, because you know how patriarchy, misogyny, there's more men that are famous than women. So you have to really challenge yourself to have a female table every now and then as well. But anyway, you can have that for free. It's a sort of game that you might enjoy.
I've got a few games. Can I share them? Because they work really well. Hide and seek in the car is really good fun. Okay.
Would you play hide and seek in the car?
Yeah, we do. We play hide and seek in the car. But you do it in your head. You have to hide somewhere in your home. And then everyone has to try and come and find you. The other game, I think my daughter invented, it's called Mini I Called It. Have you heard of Mini I Called It?
We do Mini Cheddar.
Okay, Mini I Called It is there are just the right number of mini cars on the road to make this possible. Any more and it wouldn't work, any less and it wouldn't work. If you see a mini, you have to shout Mini I Called It. Okay.
Right.
If it's if it's stripy, that's 2 points. And and if it's an old one, that's 3 points. And if it's parked, you have to say, Minnie, I parked it. And if you get it wrong, you lose a point. Okay, so we still play it now. They're in their late teens and 20s, and we still play it now. If it's a black convertible Mini with a blonde in driving it, that's 5 points, because they nearly all are.
Right.
I've noticed. So, and we play a similar game to you, the name game, where let's play it now. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to mention somebody famous, and you have to mention somebody famous whose first name begins with the same letter as my person's surname.
Okay.
Peter Cook.
Carol King.
Chris Christopherson. That's a double, right? That goes back the other way. It's actually, yes, that goes back the other way. You can't mention the same person twice.
Right.
So you'll go. You've got a K.
Can I think of a K? Kathleen Turner.
Nice. Terry Thomas.
Ooh,
see, I've got all the doubles ready, you see, because I play this.
Doubles.
That's a great game if you have enough people. Someone came up, what was it? Martha Tidville, and they meant Martha Reeves, I think, or something. But the best one is Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah, that is tough. That's tough. Anyway, we digress because we've got fun to have on the island, so we best get back there. And I didn't even get to tell you about mini cheddar, but I'll tell you about that another time.
Okay.
So you have this lovely evening, and now you've got a completely free weekend. So there's some things planned for you the following week. Again, it's about part of this sort of like soft re-entry into this sort of world of sort of semi-solitude that you're going to have in this fertile void that we're creating for you on the island. But the weekend is completely free. So, you go to bed on the Friday night knowing that all day Saturday and all day Sunday, once you've unpacked your bag, you've got nothing else to do. And I'd love to know what your plans are for the weekend. How are you going to spend the time?
I would be scuba diving.
Yeah.
I would be sailing. I would be trying to do some yoga. And
trying to do yoga and doing yoga are the same thing, you know that.
Yes. Well, oh, yeah, there is no try. There is only do or do not do. That's Yoda, isn't it? Yes. I've discovered a love for cooking. I'm the chef in our household now, and it was introduced to me by Just Fresh, where you get the stuff, all you need, and the step-by-step cooking by numbers thing. We've now branched out in that we're doing our own, but I do love that. I love the discipline of prep. And the brain just empties because you've got to work out how many grams of this you need. And I do love that. And I'm getting better at it. So I would love to do some cooking. I am abysmal at DIY. Okay, that's one of the things that I hung a gate once that had fallen off, and I rehung it, and by pure coincidence, it swings shut on its own in the sweetest of paces, right? A complete and utter fluke. I am awful at it. I get angry, I throw things out of the window. So I think I would like I'll ask my friend Paul Cameron, who makes luxury tree houses, to give me a lesson on making a tree house. That's what I'd love to do that. What else would I do? If I'm asked to judge a local beauty contest, you have to help out in these circumstances. But otherwise, that would probably fill my weekend quite nicely.
I think that's quite a busy weekend, actually. That's quite a lot. Okay, so Monday, the philanthropist has arranged for you to go to a gig. They are playing on the island, and I would love to know, because we always talk about music together, which band you're going to see on Monday night.
Can I time travel?
Yes, you can.
I'd like to see Bob Marley at the Rainbow in 1975.
Okay, that's very specific.
Supported by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Brilliant. Even better. Even better. And on Tuesday night, this is following your script now. I'm back in a slightly different order, but it's following your script. On Tuesday
Okay.
night, you're going to go to the theatre. And what play would you like to go and see?
Well, it's funny you should say that because my wife, Jo, tested me last night on how many of Shakespeare's plays I could name. There are 37, and I think I got to about 33, which wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So Timon of Athens eluded me. I gather that what is it? Titus Andronicus is quite gory, right? So it's a little bit like Game of Thrones
Right.
meets sort of Friday the 13th. So I think I'd probably like to see something like that. I don't enjoy horror.
No.
Really. But I think I'd probably want to try something a little bit unusual. And so I'd go
Yeah.
for Titus Andronicus.
It might stimulate something in you that's different, given that you're about to go on this creative journey. On
Yes.
Wednesday night, you're going to go to a musical. Which musical would you like to go and see?
Matilda.
Nice. That was a quick, easy answer.
I think it's one of the best things I've seen in a musical theatre genre. I thought it was absolutely so clever.
Yeah, it is.
The writing, the music, really, yeah. And Roald Dahl, what's not to love? So
Yeah.
Matilda,
Brilliant.
with my 8 grandchildren.
With your great grandchildren, obviously, yeah. Thursday, you've got a choice of either going to the opera or going to the ballet. Which would you prefer, and which opera or ballet would you go and see?
I would choose opera. I've I love the Rake's Progress. I saw that at Glyndebourne, but I think I'd probably have to go for Antonio Pappano's production of Tosca at the Royal Opera House.
Very nice. That's a little adjustment to your format, which you can keep if you would like.
That's
Ballet.
nice. Like that. Ballet. Yes.
And then finally, sticking with your own script, it's a film with me on the Friday night, and we're going together. And just as you challenged me, try and pick a film that you think is a classic film that you absolutely love that I will not have seen that I should see.
The Life and Times of Colonel Blimp.
I have not seen it or even heard of it.
It's long. I watch it frequently. I love it. It's sort of almost Ealing Studios wartime tragedy, and I think it's called The Life and Times. It might be The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, but yeah, love that film. And you won't have seen that.
I definitely have not seen it or even heard of it. Have you watched yet Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
No, but it's in my list of things to look at.
I'm just checking that you're true to your word, Mark, because this is obviously an important factor. All right, well, that ends your first week, and now really you're on your own. So I think we just now step away from you. I'm going to jump on my boat after our night at the cinema. It was an open air cinema, obviously, because it's gorgeous weather, and step onto the sailing boat that's taking me off back to the United States, which I'm going to fly home from. And I'm waving goodbye, and I look forward to seeing what happens in a year's time when we come to collect you and what ideas have emerged. It's going to be a very exciting year for you in 2034, I think.
That's wonderful. Thank you. My liver might have suffered from the rum intake, but
Once you're there for a long period of time, it sort of normalizes, and you won't do it every day. You might have the odd AFD, as I call them.
What's that?
Alcohol-free day.
Oh, yes. I'll need a few.
I actually put those in my diary. I have created for you a new version of the either or game.
Oh, have you?
Yes, I have. Are
Can't
you
wait.
ready to? Have I missed anything, by the way, from the first part of your interview technique?
No, I think that was great. I loved it.
Excellent. I feel a lot of pressure here, the master. So I've created a new either or game, and as we go through this either or game, you will see that I've created it specially for you by some of the either ors that I have created.
Brilliant. I can't wait.
I get that's the right answer. I'm gonna make it a bit bigger on my screen so that I can read my own writing. Are you ready?
I am ready. Is it instinctive responses?
Instinctive, no thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
Diet or zero?
Diet.
Fruit or nut?
Fruit.
Film or box set?
Box set.
Paperback or Kindle?
Kindle.
Lift weights or go for a run?
Run.
Pasty or pie? You can keep that one too.
Pie.
Red or white?
White.
Shorts or trousers?
Shorts all day.
River or sea?
Oh, that's hard. River.
Ooh, that surprised me. I thought you'd definitely say sea.
Well, there's one there, so
Ah.
this one.
Mountains or moors?
Moors I can't climb.
Crossword or Sudoku?
Crossword. Oh, can't do Sudoku. I'm numerically dyslexic, by the way.
Well, also you do love words. You're a wordsmith,
I
so
do.
that sounds. Karaoke or line dancing?
Oh, that's agony because we karaoke, our local pub does karaoke every Friday and we're often there, and Joe and I do Islands in the Stream more than once a month together, which is hilarious. I also did tequila once because there's only one word in it. And that went down quite well. But line dance, I'm a big country fan, so this is a tricky one. But
It's
I
difficult, isn't
probably,
it?
yeah, but I can't really move and dance. I'm better off making a fool of myself with karaoke. So karaoke.
Okay. Are you ready for this one? Symbols or triangle?
Oh, that's so difficult. This is agony. I love the way you've done this. Well, symbols, because symbols is great, especially if you're you've got the loud bit. And I'm on Spotify playing symbols. I'm also on Spotify playing triangle, but symbols, it's symbols. It's great. But that triangle is what I was playing when I was at Carnegie Hall. So I think I'll have to stick with the triangle.
I literally designed this question especially for you. Do you notice
Brilliant.
the work that I put into this?
I do, and appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Hotel or Airbnb?
Hotel.
Win the lottery or win an election?
Lottery.
Grand gestures or secret act of kindness?
Oh, secret acts of kindness.
Picnic or barbecue?
Barbecue.
Live forever or be remembered forever?
Be remembered forever.
Ice skating or rollerblading?
Absolutely neither. Um, when I was a teenager, my brother and I went with the youth club to Streatham for some ice skating. And my little brother said, "See that girl over there? I really fancy her. Can you push me into her, please?" And so I did, and he knocked her over gently. And the last I looked, they were off going to buy a Coke together. He returned the favor and missed horribly, and I broke my ankle.
To be fair, I couldn't pick one of those either. But I thought
I'm not.
it was a nice little pairing anyway.
It's a nice pairing, but I'm afraid I would be a danger to life doing both, not
And
just
to everybody else on
yeah.
the rink. Take turns paying or split the bill?
Take turns.
Bar of soap or bottle of shower gel?
Shower gel.
Christmas dinner or Boxing Day leftovers?
Christmas dinner.
See, I think the only point of Christmas dinner is Boxing Day leftovers. That's
I
really
do
saying a
love,
lot more
yeah,
about me.
yeah, I do love a cold turkey sandwich with
Yeah.
mayo. That's nice. Yeah.
Exactly. I love Boxing Day, jacket potatoes, all the salads, all the stuff coming out, all the the only day of the year that you eat a pickled walnut, all of that. Salty or sweet?
Salty.
Glasses or
Although, can I add an
yeah.
aside? Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to do this.
No, you're just breaking your own rules.
I know. I did my DNA test for Ancestry, and I was able to download my DNA and put it in a health app to tell me what genes were mutated.
Right.
And C17, I think, is mutated. And that means that I am predisposed to have a sweet tooth
Right.
genetically. But
Yes.
That's my excuse for all the fruit and nut bars. But if I had to choose, it would be salt.
I'm with you there. Glasses or contacts?
Glasses.
Breathe underwater or learn to fly?
These are brilliant. I love
Thank
these.
you. You can have this list. You can basically match it in with your own list.
That would be great. Breathe underwater or learn to fly. Learn to fly.
Nice. Vampire or werewolf?
Vampire. Love vampires.
And this is the last one. Interview or be interviewed?
Be interviewed, because I really don't want this to stop. And I so hope other people feel the same when I'm interviewing them. Because once it gets going, you relax and you enjoy it, and you find yourself answering questions in ways that you hadn't expected. But I've loved it, and I don't want it to stop.
Well, it doesn't have to stop, but that is my last question. But actually, what I wanted to give you the opportunity to do is to tell everybody, who do you want to be connected with for your own business? I know you'll say anybody who's an artist or invested in culture or whatever, but more specifically than that, what are you interested in? What is the person that we could all come together to introduce you to that you would love to connect with in order to grow your philanthropic work even further?
Nice. I'm leaning back towards Stephen Fry. I've never had the chance to meet him. I would love to meet Stephen Fry, partly because he's a Wagner nut. He loves his classical music. And I'd want to ask him a question. I'd rather be me than Stephen Fry, because I consider myself to be somewhat unintelligent. And as a consequence of that, and I find this a blessing, I very rarely find things boring. But if I was Stephen Fry and I knew pretty much everything about everything, I might struggle and get a bit, So I'd want to ask him, how do you remain interested in things? But so yeah, I would love to be introduced to Stephen Fry. So he'd be my answer. I'm just thinking who else. No, I think I'll stick with Stephen Fry.
Okay, that's a beautiful answer. I love that. And also now I have sunshine swathing me.
It's
like
wonderful. It looks like a filter.
Yeah, but it's not. It's actually just what happens to me when I'm in the zone. No, I'm joking. It's the sun.
It's making you look ethereal and angelic. It's
Yes,
great.
well, I do describe myself as the fairy godmother of creativity. So
There it is.
there it is. It's just, So that comes to the end of this beautiful interview, which I don't think will need too much editing. But as you know, Mark, because you are, despite the fact that you've given me permission to do this with you today, you are still in charge. So you have to stop your own recording now.
Okay.
And thank you very much for letting me do this. It's such an honor.
Oh, it has been a delight. Thank you so much. And I've been listening to your new single.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.